My name is Jeremy Reeves. I am the treasurer at Leaders of Today, and I'm also the Money Mamba. Also, one other important thing is I am actually Jordan's father, and today I am going to discuss generosity as one of the Leaders of Today core values. Hopefully, I can enlighten you a different way. Like, we all have our own concept of generosity and what we think it means, but hopefully I can challenge that for you just a bit and expand on what you think and realize as generosity. So I wanted to define generosity. So I looked up the word generous, and the actual word we found, it was showing a readiness to give more of something as of money or time than is strictly necessary or expected. It is showing kindness toward others of a thing larger or more plentiful than is usual or necessary. So I decided I was going to break the word down. If we break it down, it's the suffix of gen means to produce, or that which produces. And then we have a conjunction that is which is sometimes a suffix which means more than something. So we have produce, something that produces more than something else. And then we have the suffix us, O-U-S, which means full of or abounding. So we have something that produces more than something else, and there's something that is full or abounds, which is a little bit better, but it wasn't perfect. And so I needed to kind of bring it together. So I wanted to find another word that was close that might have the same types of meanings. So I chose generation. So the gen is that which produces. We have the which is more than something. And then the ation, which is the shun, is an action or process, which kind of brought some things together for me, because we all know what a generation is. But we have something that produces, but it has to produce more than, and it's an action or a process. So we all belong to a generation, but then does that generation become ours? We're all part of a generation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's our generation, because we have something that produces more than. So I have a son, Jordan, and Jordan belongs to a generation. But has he produced anything at this point? And the answer to that is no. Jordan does not have any offspring. So he belongs to a generation. That doesn't make that generation his, because he hasn't produced anything. Well, I produced Jordan. So does the generation that Jordan belongs to, does that become my generation? It really can't become my generation, because I only produced Jordan. And generation has to produce more than just what I can produce. So the generation that Jordan is actually a part of is actually my father's generation, because my father produced me, and then I produced more than what my father could actually produce. So he's part of a generation, but that doesn't make it his generation. Generation actually comes from my father. So it is a actual thing that actually trickles down. It's bigger than what you can produce as a person. So then I went back to the word generous, and we have something that produces something, but it's more than that, and it produces something that is full or it abounds. So a generous donation. So I could give a generous donation to another organization. My donation to that organization doesn't ever become generous until it produces more than what I first gave, whatever. And then from there, it becomes abounding, because my donation goes to different places. My time, my money, my talent, it's divvied up into so many different places, and it just becomes full and abounds all over the place. So to be generous isn't just your initial act, but it is also an act that you actually see when someone else is involved, and they scatter your time, your generous talent, your generous money, whatever, to other places and other things. You need someone else to be the receiver of your generous gift to actually make that thing generous, because it has to spread to more than just the place that you initially put that gift or that donation. So now that you recognize generosity as a pattern that involves more than just an exchange between two people, does that change the way that you invest your time, your money, or your talent? If so, what does that look like for you now, and how does generosity change?